So, ChatGTP, are you familiar with this mascot that the Vatican tried to have for Comic Con? I think it was in Italy or Rome or something.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. There was a bit of a stir a while back. The Vatican partnered with a group for a mascot design, and it kind of fell flat. It was this, like, cartoonish figure of a saint or angel, but it didn't really land well with the public or the traditional vibe. Were you curious about the controversy or something specific about it?
Yeah, I know it's kind of old news. What year was that it came out? Yeah, I googled it here. This is the character right here, but ChatGTP, what year was that? I believe it was 20.
So the Vatican unveiled a mascot named Luce on October 28th, 2024, ahead of the Jubilee year in Rome. She was introduced at Luca Comics and Games, which was notable because it was a pop culture event, and her anime-inspired design sparked a lot of debate, especially since the artist had LGBTQ ties.
Yeah, are they still using that mascot or what?
So the Vatican introduced the mascot Lucy in October 2024 ahead of the Jubilee year. She debuted at Luca Comics and Games, and the Vatican plans further appearances, including at Expo 2025 in Osaka. The reception's been mixed. Many younger Catholics like her modern style, but traditionalists have criticized the anime design and ties to LGBTQ-themed art.
Oh, check out that inflatable. That's crazy. There's even this little, like, plastic figurine I saw on one. Hold on, but he didn't answer my question, right? Are they still currently using it in 2026? It's taking a while, right?
Yes, Lucy is still being used in 2026.
There's that plastic doll.
Mostly as part of the ongoing Jubilee year outreach. After her debut in late 2024 at Luca Comics and Games, she continued to appear in Jubilee events and materials through early 2026. However, her role is still tied to that event, and there's no sign yet of her becoming a permanent standalone brand.
Well, we're in 2026 now. Hopefully it's going to phase out or what? So, they're not going to be using this after that one event or what?
Exactly, yeah. So the plan was really to have her be this kind of symbol during the Jubilee year, and it's tied to that specific time frame. After the events wrap up, it sounds like she'll just be part of archival content, but not a permanent fixture or a long-term Vatican mascot.
Can you explain this Jubilee year thing?
Of course. So a Jubilee year is basically a special year in the Catholic tradition. It happens every 25 or 50 years, depending on the kind. And it's a time for forgiveness, renewal, and big religious celebrations. During a Jubilee, the faithful often make pilgrimages, and the church usually opens special holy doors for the occasion. Doors that are normally kept closed and only opened during Jubilee. So it's kind of a big deal and a big reset moment for spiritual life.
Wait, I'm not sure I'm understanding. What's so special about this that it only happens 25 or 50 years?
Great question. So the idea is that the Jubilee is a symbolic fresh start. You know, every 25 or 50 years, it's this moment for the church to pause and offer a deeper spiritual renewal. People seek forgiveness, they might do acts of charity, and the Pope sometimes grants indulgences, basically a kind of spiritual reset. So it's not just a random year, it's a carefully planned, really significant moment in Catholic life.
So what are these holy doors you're talking about?
Yeah, so holy doors are basically special doors in certain major basilicas, like St. Peter's in Vatican City, that stay sealed most of the time, but during a Jubilee year they're ceremonially opened, and people can pass through them as a kind of pilgrimage. It symbolises leaving behind sin and starting a new phase of faith. So it's really a powerful physical symbol of that spiritual renewal.
I don't understand. It's just a doorway into an empty room or what?
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a doorway, but it's really symbolic. People see it as a passage to grace, so it's not about a literal room behind it, but about a spiritual journey. When you walk through, it's like making a fresh start, committing to a new phase in your faith. So the door itself is just a really powerful symbol in that tradition.
So there's... What's on the other side of the door?
Yeah, so that's kind of the interesting part. There isn't necessarily a physical space that's different or secret. After the door, people are just in a normal part of the basilica. It's more about what that step means to them. It's a ritual, a symbol, and kind of a marker in their personal faith journey.
So the doors normally close, but it just goes to another side that can be accessed normally anyways from another door?
Exactly, yeah, that's the idea. The door is often just a ceremonial entrance.
What does this have to do with this comic convention?
So the connection is that the Vatican used the mascot Luce to help engage younger, more modern audiences at that pop culture event. So Luca Comics and Games is a huge festival, and by introducing her there, the Vatican was kind of trying to reach people who might not normally engage with traditional religious events. So it was a way to modernize that message.
How do you pronounce the name of this mascot again?
Yeah, it's pronounced Luce. So it's kind of like the Italian or Latin-inspired name with a soft che sound in the middle.
So here's where my thoughts were when I first heard this. I mean, I think it's pretty common knowledge, right? Let me ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT, would I be wrong in saying about, okay, so this is where my mind is going. It's going to like how the church adopts traditions that people are doing in the land, and they try to, how would you say it, like appropriate it, I guess? Is that the word?
Yeah, I think that's exactly the word you're looking for. The church has often adapted or incorporated local customs or symbols to make the faith feel more relatable.
So like how, like what festival is it that pretty much it is for Christmas, which is the Santa Claus character, right? What festival is that?
Yeah, you're probably thinking of the way that Christmas absorbed elements from older winter solstice festivals like the Germanic Yule or the Roman Saturnalia. The Santa Claus figure too evolved from St. Jack of Nicholas, but also pulled in bits from those earlier traditions. So it's kind of a mix of a bunch of cultures.
But, and correct me if I'm wrong, but basically it's kind of like these people were celebrating these like Yule festivals and things like this for the solstice, right? And the church basically came along, instead of trying to stop them, just said, hey, it's actually a celebration of Jesus, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And what about Easter? And I guess we talk about the character of the Easter Bunny, right? So what was going on? Isn't there a festival also for Easter that they said, okay, instead of celebrating what you're celebrating, it's really about Jesus, right? So what was that festival?
Yeah, exactly. So Easter also has these older springtime fertility festivals, like the Anglo-Saxon goddess Eostre, which is where the name Easter actually comes from. And then the church kind of took that timing and recentered it on the resurrection of Jesus. So a lot of those old symbols, like eggs and rabbits, were just kind of incorporated. Yeah,
so now within the 21st century, the festival is Comic-Con, and the church is appropriating that, right? Is that the word? What's appropriating mean?
Yeah, that's right. So appropriating in this context basically means taking elements from a different culture or event and integrating them into a new framework.
So basically, maybe that's not even the correct word, right?
It's a way to reach new audiences, just like they did with those older seasonal festivals. It's basically using a familiar cultural moment to share their message in a new way.
So I'm sorry, I kind of talked over him a little, but that's what it makes me think of. It makes me think of, okay, now they're going to make Comic-Con as this was really about Jesus this whole time, and here's our mascot, which is an anime character, because, I mean, the thing with the Santa Claus, let me see, so the origins of Santa Claus had to do with this festival, right?
Exactly. The figure of Santa Claus really grew out of St. Nicholas, who was a 4th century bishop known for generosity.
Yeah, but what did it have to do with the festival?
Got it. So the timing of St. Nicholas's feast day was actually in early December, close to the old winter solstice celebrations. And over the centuries as Christmas emerged...
I think if I remember correctly, isn't it more like the... what's that guy? The one that would fly on the reindeer? There was some kind of Germanic or Nordic... father figure guy. What was it?
Yeah, you're thinking of Odin, actually.
Yeah. So it's like Odin becomes Santa Claus. I guess your fertility with bunnies becomes the Easter Bunny, and your love for anime becomes Luce, or how do you say it again?
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. Odin, especially with his flying horse, was kind of a precursor to Santa, and the whole Easter Bunny thing came from these old fertility symbols. So now Lucy is just the latest symbol the church is using to bridge that cultural gap, like a modern twist.
Yeah, I just thought like, and it almost seemed like if this was, it's kind of funny to think, hilarious to think if this was permanent. I mean, with the history with Santa Claus and Easter Bunny, you know, that it just makes me think of that. It's like, seems like a consistency there, right? But I guess this is not permanent. But and wait, Halloween was one too, I think, right? How about Halloween, right? Became All Souls Day, right? It was a festival. What was that pagan festival?
Yeah, exactly. Halloween has roots in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. It marked the end of the harvest and the start of winter. And then the church later moved All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day to coincide with it. So it became this mix of remembering the dead and kind of a bridge between the two worlds.
Yeah, so now instead of those holidays, now it's like Comic-Con, right? Like that's the holiday that people are celebrating now, the festival that people have now, but they can kind of you know, say it was all about Jesus after all. Something. I just thought that was a bit humorous thing to think of, but it makes me think of that, and that's a historical fact. And actually, I didn't know at the time, because it is kind of old news now, but at the time I wondered, thinking, hey man, they're gonna start putting statues of this in the church. Like, I don't know, if they do, can you pray to it for intercession? Then if you do, you know, is it gonna be all-knowing if you could pray to it? But apparently it looks like it's not gonna go that route, so that's a good thing. But I thought it was interesting how the character was actually there was a controversy with this guy. The artist had some LGBT stuff background in his art, and people have looked up his like social media, and I remember seeing this picture of like it was all LGBT stuff and rainbows and everything, and then there was this one with babies with diapers with their rears up in the air. I don't want to get banned from YouTube, so I don't want to describe it anymore. And it said love on there, but each one had a letter. I don't know, like it was a little bizarre. That pair of the LGBT thing, but that alone, that image. Actually, let me see. Let me got a fair use and show that real quick. Let me see. Look,
Italian artist.
This is a Michael Lofton. He has a great show, Reason Theology. I think he changed it for Cross Examine with Michael Lofton. That's his channel. So this is, yeah, this is the artist. He came across this. There you go. There you go. Here's some more of this work that he's done. I don't know if you guys can see that on the screen. I wonder if you can.
For Pride Month.
Let's see.
So we got a nice little transgender pony unicorn. I guess that's a unicorn. Yeah. Got another, you know, Pride.
Oh, I don't think it's doing full screen on your right now.
Going on here. I don't know what's going on with the skull. Cactus Pride lady. More transgender stuff. Interesting. Okay. So the Vatican's working with this guy. I don't know what's going on that one.
And actually, that made me think, like, okay, look at this mascot. Well, you know, I think ChatGPT gave us a better picture, right? Look at this mascot. It's like, where are the pants? I mean, because, like, yeah, you naturally have pants or shorts so short that it doesn't show when you wear a raincoat, right? Like, I don't know, but I just thought it was funny. I mean, like, that could be intentional. No one ever brought that up, but I think so. No, seeing that last picture on his social media, I mean, for all we know, this could be. I don't want to say anything and get me in trouble, but and I also thought it was interesting that they went the blue hair. I guess because they had to scream anime, right, to get the attention, but. Let me see. It's that I thought that was an interesting observation there. I actually what I was thinking, because they said that everything has a representation, so like everything on it, so like even the yellow color that was chosen for its raincoat was to represent the Vatican flag, and I was thinking, and the no pants represents the Catholic tradition of what? I'm stopping there. I almost want to do a cough thing and but I'm gonna stop there. Let me see what I have in my notes here. Yeah, you know what? One thing that it almost seems like idol worship, right? I guess it's not permanent. I'm hearing, I guess, but I thought it was interesting too that rosary around the neck. I remember, and I don't know if this is common amongst more traditional people, but I remember my parents, they were Catholic, and it was interesting to always see. I remember, I would hear about like criticisms with like, that's a rosary, it's not a necklace. And then how they choose to use it as a necklace. A rosary is not a necklace. I don't think. Actually, maybe I should ask ChatGPT about that. Maybe I just some my people I was around said. But let me see. ChatGPT, are rosaries necklaces?
Good distinction. So rosaries are actually a set of prayer beads used in a specific pattern for Catholic or other Christian prayers. They're not just jewelry; they have a spiritual purpose.
Yeah, and I know
a prayer or a step in a meditation.
The people I was around always would say that was sacrilegious to be using it as a necklace, right? Are there any position? Wait, are there any positions that are against using it as a necklace, or is it supposed to be used as a necklace?
Yeah, that's a great point. So traditionally, rosaries are meant to be used for prayer, not just as jewelry. Many people feel it's a bit disrespectful to wear them casually, though it's not always strictly forbidden.
As interesting as this character has it as a necklace, right?
But if you do, it's usually best to keep that prayer focus.
So it's in a circular form, right? For what reason? Not to be a necklace, right? That's my understanding, or is it also supposed to be a necklace?
Exactly. The circular form is really symbolic. It reflects the cycle of prayer, and it doesn't have a beginning or end, so you can go around it in sequence. It's not really supposed to be a fashion necklace. It's more about guiding you through those prayer steps, bead by bead, in a meditative pattern.
Was it acceptable to be a necklace, or supposed to be like dual function when it was invented, or?
Yeah, originally it was never really intended as a fashion piece. It was purely for prayer and meditation. Now, over time, some people have worn them as necklaces, and that's sort of become more common in modern culture. But the original purpose was really just a tool for guiding prayer, not for everyday wear.
Yeah, that's interesting. When was the first use of the rosary? Like, when was that invented or debuted, or whatever you say?
The rosary has a long, gradual history. Early prayer beads used by Christian monks date back to the 3rd and 4th centuries. And by the 12th to 15th centuries, the rosary as a Marian devotion started forming. The structure we recognize today, with sets of Hail Marys and 5 decades, took shape by the 16th century. So it didn't have one single first use, it evolved over many centuries.
Oh, so the one we know of as of today has only been used since the 1500s?
Yeah, that's right.
So the rosary is not really a tradition then, right? As we know it, at least?
Exactly, yeah. The rosary as a structured tradition took shape over time, but it wasn't a fixed or formalized practice from the start. It really.
What did the original rosaries look like? There was originally no rosary, right? But our earliest rosary, show me a picture of that. Can you pull one from the internet? See how similar it was. Like, was it really an evolution? Was it just pretty good similarity? I'm curious,
Rosary didn't appear fully formed right away. It evolved over centuries from early Christian practices. By the 3rd and 4th centuries, monks used simple counting devices like knots or beads. By the 12th to 15th centuries, the structure began to form.
So that's
by 1483, the first printed rosary manual, called Our Lady's Psalter, gave us the recognizable form we know today.
What did it say? By 1483, first printed rosary manual called Our Lady's Psalter gave us a recognizable form we know today. So 1400. So that's something that, you would think it's a tradition. Like, I guess going back to at least 1400s is a deep-rooted tradition in that many years. But prior to that, It's not really, right? And I feel like it would be almost one of those things that some people, like I told you, there's people out there try to say Jesus told them everything. The church is everything from Jesus, and this isn't from Jesus. That, I mean, right? I mean, let me ask ChatGPT one more question. ChatGPT, does this have any roots in like coming from Jesus?
Good question. So the rosary itself doesn't directly come from Jesus or the early church. It's
So
more of a later
I just kind of stumbled on this from the other thing, but I'm gonna have to call it short.
Like the Our Father, the Hail Mary, are rooted in Scripture and Christian tradition, so it's definitely tied
Okay.
to that.
I'm gonna have to call this short. But like and subscribe if you like these kinds of topics, because that's what I like to do on this channel.